30 minutes to listen to a story. Today, we're talking about the original bad husband, before true crime podcasts, before murder, mysteries, before anyone ever said. Red flags, there was Bluebeard. This story is over 300 years old. Written by a French guy named Charles Perrault. Youth. Probably heard of his other work. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Riding Hood. Nice, cozy fairy tales. Right. Well, Bluebeard is not cozy. Bluebeard is what happens when a fairy tale goes dark. Really dark. Let's get into it. Once upon a time, there was a man. Rich. I mean, really rich. Fine houses, gold and silver plates, carriages covered in gold, the whole deal. But there was one problem. He had a Bluebeard. Not a little bit blue, full on, bright blue, the kind of blue that makes people cross the street. Women saw him coming and ran the other way, which was a problem, because this guy wanted a wife badly. Now here's where the story gets ... interesting. Bluebeard had been married before, several times. And here's the thing. Nobody could figure out. His wives had all disappeared, vanished. No one knew where they went. You'd think that would be a deal breaker. But this is a fairy tale, so apparently not. Next door to Bluebeard lived a lady with 2 daughters, both beautiful, both young. Neither wanted anything to do with Bluebeard, but Bluebeard had a plan. He invited them, the mother, the 2 daughters, and some friends to stay at his country house for a week, and he pulled out all the stops. Hunting, parties, fishing trips, dancing, feasting, joking around all night long. It was basically the 17th century version of a luxury vacation dot, and it worked. The younger daughter, her name is Fatima, in most versions started thinking, his beard isn't that blue. And it's actually kind of nice. So she said yes. She married Bluebeard. Mistake number 1. A month passes. Everything seems fun. Then one day, Bluebeard announces he has to go on a business trip. 6 weeks. Important stuff. Before he leaves, he hands Fatima a giant ring of keys. All the keys to the entire house. Here, he says, these open the big rooms. These open the treasure chests. These open the jewelry boxes. Then he holds up one small key. But this key, this little one right here, opens the tiny room at the end of the ground floor. Gallery, do not open that door under any circumstances. If you open it, you will get my full, undivided, angry attention. Fatima nods. Okay, sure, won't open it. Bluebeard leaves. And here's where human nature kicks in. The moment her husband is gone, Fatima's friends show up. They've been dying to see inside this famous house. They just didn't dare come when Bluebeard was there. Because, The Bluebeard thing. Fatima gives them the grand tour. Every room, every closet, every wardrobe, and her friends are losing their minds. Oh my God, look at this tapestry. This bed is insane. You are so lucky. But Fatima isn't paying attention. She can't stop thinking about that little key, that little room, that little door she's not supposed to open. Why did he say that? What's in there? Is it treasure? Is it something embarrassing? Is it worse? The friends leave, and Fatima makes a decision. She takes the little key. She walks down the back staircase. She's shaking so hard she almost trips twice. She puts the key in the lock. She turns it. The door opens. At first, she can't see anything. The windows are shut. It's dark. Then her eyes adjust, and she wishes they hadn't. The floor is covered in blood, dried, caked, old blood, and against the walls, lying in that blood, are the bodies of women, several of them, Bluebeard's former wives, all of them murdered, one after another. Fatima drops the key. It falls right into a puddle of blood. She slams the door. She runs back to her room. She's shaking. She's crying. She's trying to process what she just saw. And then she looks at the key. There is a red stain on it. Blood from the floor. She wipes it with a cloth. Nothing. She washes it with soap and water. Nothing. She scrubs it with sand. Nothing. The blood won't come off. Because here's the twist, and this is the part that makes the story great. The key is magical. Every time you wipe the blood off one side, it reappears on the other. There's no hiding what she did. That very night, Bluebeard comes back early. He asks for the keys. Fatima hands him the whole ring except the little one. Where's the other key? He asks. I must have left it upstairs, she says. Go get it. She goes. She comes back. She hands it to him. Bluebeard looks at the key. Then he looks at her. Then he looks back at the key. How did this blood get here? I don't know, she whispers. You know exactly what happened. You opened the door. You saw the room. His voice is calm. That's what makes it terrifying. You wanted to know my secret. Now you will join them. Fatima falls to her knees. She begs. She cries. She promises never to disobey again. And for a second, just a second, you think maybe Lao soften. She's beautiful. She's cracking. She's begging. But Bluebeard has a heart harder than stone. You will die. Right now. Fatima looks up. Just give me a few minutes. Let me say my prayers before I die. Bluebeard thinks about it. Fine. Have a quarter of an hour, not a second more. She runs upstairs. Her sister Anne is in the house. Fatima shouts, Anne, Sister Anne, go up to the tower. Look and see if our brothers are coming. They promised to visit today. Anne runs up. She looks out. I don't see anything. She calls down. Just the sun making dust, and the grass looking green. From below, Bluebeard's voice booms. Come down now, or I am coming up. One more moment, Fatima shouts back. Then to Anne. Sister Anne, do you see anyone? I see nothing but the sun and the grass. Come down, Bluebeard yells. Anne, do you see anyone? I see a cloud of dust, far away. Is it them? No, just a flock of sheep. Bluebeard's voice shakes the house. Last chance, come down. Sister Anne, do you see anyone now? I see 2 horsemen, but they're still far. That's them, Fatima cries. Make a sign. Wave at them. Tell them to hurry downstairs. Bluebeard is done waiting. He storms up the stairs. He grabs Fatima by the hair. He raises his massive sword. This is it. But just as he's about to bring it down, Todd, 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 Todd. Someone's pounding on the gate. The doors burst open. 2 men with drawn swords run. Infantines brothers. One is a dragoon. The other is a musketeer. Bluebeard sees them. He tries to run. He doesn't make it. They run him through with their swords right there, on the front steps. He falls, dead. Fatima is so shaken, she can barely stand. But she's alive. So what happens next? Happy ending? Kinda. Bluebeard had no children, no heirs. So Fatima inherited everything. His houses, his gold, his carriages, everything the dead guy left behind. And here's what she did with it. She used some to marry her sister Anne to Enes, young man who had been in love with her for years. She used some to buy Ami, commissions for her brothers. And the rest? She used it to marry a very worthy gentleman, someone kind, someone normal, someone without a blue beard. And she spent the rest of her life forgetting the terrible time she had with Bluebeard. Now, here's the part the story does tell you. Bluebeard is based on a real guy. His name was Gilles de Rais, 15th century. France, rich, powerful, fought alongside Joan of Arc. Yes, that Joan of Arc. After he retired from military life, he started dabbling in alchemy, and something went very wrong in his head. He was convicted of murdering somewhere between 80 and 200 children. He confessed. He was executed. Historians still argue about whether he actually did all of it. By that, the man they point to when they ask, where did Bluebeard come from? So why does his story still matter after 300 years? Because it's not just about a scary guy with a blue beard. It's about curiosity and why we can't leave things alone. It's about warnings. It's why the second someone says don't look, we immediately want to look. It tells about something darker. The story says, Bluebeard had a heart harder than any rock. But what made him that way? The real Bluebeard, Gilles de Rais, was a war hero, a national hero, and then something broke. The story doesn't answer that question, but it asks it. Charles Perrault wrote 2 morals at the end of Bluebeard. Yeah, 2, because 1 wasn't enough. The first one is for wives. Curiosity can get you in trouble, cost you your life. But honestly, in 2025, that moral doesn't age well. She was curious because her husband was hiding bodies. That's not a wife's fault situation. The second moral is better. It's for husbands. Don't be like Bluebeard. If you are a tyrant at home, you'll end up worse than did you. And a lineup remember Red as a monster. That one still holds up. Bluebeard isn't a fairy tale for kids. Isn't a fairy tale for adults who still remember how scary the world can be. For anyone who's ever ignored a warning sign, for anyone who's ever wondered what's behind that locked door, sometimes the answer is nothing. Sometimes the answer is everything. And sometimes the answer is bodies. That's the story of Bluebeard. A man with a blue beard. A wife with too much curiosity. A K does what would stop bleeding. And a pair of brothers with very good timing, over 300 years old. Still creepy, still relevant. Thanks for listening. See you next time.